Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share what essential supplies I take out for landscape painting. The plein air painting I do regularly. I like to take small sketchbooks, pens, watercolours and other bits and bobs. So I'm going to put them on the table and we'll have a look at them and see what we've got. This is the bag that I normally take with me. So we'll just take some of these things out. I love to use tiny sketchbooks, and this is, I don't know, 2 inches or so, but I find them really useful. I love to go out and draw with pens, coloured pens. I have a slightly larger one, which I also like to use. Sketchbooks are a really good place to explore and discover new things in. This is a Moleskine. It's a good quality sketchbook, but I have painted out the colours that I take with me, so I always find that useful, but it's a good quality and I find it very useful when I'm out landscape painting. This is a cheaper watercolour sketchbook, which I actually find invaluable because I don't worry when I paint in this. I can be free and expressive, and it's just for collecting information, it's not for anything else. So I recommend a cheaper watercolour sketchbook for loose and expressive drawing and painting. And then this is just another one that I do pen sketches in. And again, these are experimental, fun to do, and I don't worry about it. This is a waterproof bag. It's a sort of got an opening that you can dive down into, and it keeps my wet gear in. This is a water container, although I think it might be a hip flask, but that's quite handy for water. This is a spritz bottle for wetting the paints in the palette so that you don't dig your brush into them when you're using them. And then I just have a cloth for drying off my brush or wiping my brush on. So that's very handy, and it all goes back in there. And then if this were to leak, it's in a waterproof bag, so everything's going to be just fine. This is really important. Well, that's another cloth I put on my wrist for wiping my brush on. This is my travel brush. Can't leave home without that. And this is a Winsor and Newton watercolor travel palette. The top, when it comes off, clips on there. That's where you put your water, and these fold out. Now this was a water container, but I took a Stanley knife to it and adapted it so I could get 4 more colours in, and I put 2 extra colours up here as well. So this palette is typical to what I would use for my watercolour sketching. I do a lot of landscape, but I do quite a lot of water coastal scenes, so it has a lot of blues in it, and it's just a really good palette. So it's been worked out over quite a few years, and I'm very happy with it. I will detail in the show notes and maybe at the end exactly what these are. But anyway, you need to find a good travel palette. There's a lot of them out there, but this Winsor and Newton one I found to be really very good. This is a pencil case, and I take a selection of colours of pencils that I know are good for my seascape. That's a fine liner, so that's sort of ink. but these are just ordinary pencils. I have a viewfinder, view catcher, invaluable. Don't leave home without it. When you're out in the landscape, you're looking around, you can easily get overwhelmed. But if you use this to compose, then it really makes life so much easier, especially when you're doing tiny sketching. You're trying to get all that huge area in. Well, if you're looking through this, you've already sort of got it, and you can just follow what's going on. So yeah, invaluable. I quite like these. These are just, they've got 4 different colours in them, just biros. Really fun, and they're quite cheap and cheerful. I took this when I was travelling and did the airport series. That's an S-gel, a Sharpie S-gel. I really like them. They're nice and black. This is a mechanical pencil, and in this mechanical pencil I have a blue, you won't be able to see it, but it's a blue pencil lead. It's quite fine, so you can only tick it out a little bit because it's so fine it could break off. You have to be a bit gentle with it. But I like to draw with blue. I find it softer when I'm doing the watercolour overlay, and that's just another cheap mechanical pencil. So that's a little pencil box sort of thing that I take with me. And last but not least, oh, there's another of those multi-pens. Last but not least, my coloured pens. These are actually Schneider Viz. Never heard of the brand before, but anyway, I bought them and I do like them a lot. They are so good with my tiny sketching. The only thing I find with them is they can blob on the end. So you do need a tissue with you to wipe them off, wipe that little blob off. I do tend to end up with inky hands, but these are great. So that's pretty much it. It's not a huge amount. It all fits into a little pack, and I highly recommend everybody trying outdoor painting, plein air painting. It's so much fun. So I hope you enjoyed that. I will have a look at the watercolours in more depth that I use and maybe swatch them out for you. So just to recap, I have the pens that I like to draw with, I have a good travel brush, I have a very good watercolour palette, I have a selection of pencils, some mechanical pencils, a view catcher, again don't leave home without it, a water bottle, something to wipe the brush off on, a protective coating for the water so that it's not going to splash in my bag, a spritz bottle, and a selection of notebooks, ending with the tiny one. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this little walk through my kit. This is what I take out every time I go, and I don't need any more. It does seem quite a lot when I look at it on the table, but really it just packs into a bag, and then I've got everything I need. So happy painting, everybody, and please get out in the landscape and try it. See you next time.